oldest improvised self-defense tool known to man, and that is the stone or the rock. These are everywhere in my environment. I don't know how common they are in your environment. They should be pretty common. They're all different shapes. You know, rocks are different wherever they are. These are basically river stones. This is a style. You can actually buy these or you can pick them up from the river. I used to pick these up all the time and collect these. But the first thing I'm going to show you different ways that these are used. But if we go back to the Bible, when we talk about some of the original self-defense tools or self-defense weapons, a weapon, period, it's the rock. You know, after hands and teeth and fists and knees and elbows, headbutts, then we go to a tool for self-defense. You pick something up and you put it in your hand. So using this one, yeah, harness the storm. You're reading my mind. I have a pile of those. That's what we're going to talk about next. But these are perfectly shaped for a fist load. And so this idea that you put something heavy in your hand, these are dense rocks. I know I used to break these a lot with my hand. And you can squeeze them. Hi, Michael, it's good to see you. Squeeze that, holding that tight. And then as you punch with your knuckles, your hand doesn't compress as much because it's holding this rock. Some rocks that you can find fit in your hand better than others. This is almost a perfect size for my big, fat, chunky hand. I can hold it like this, and then when I strike for self-defense, I'm gonna hit with so much more force, and you're gonna hit with so much more force too, simply because you're holding this rock in your hand. Zero Gluten, good to see you. Good evening. Got a little frog in my throat. Been here all day, was walking out there looking for improvised self-defense tools, and I thought this is the original Cain and Abel self-defense tool, although that's arguable, that really wasn't self-defense, but the point is that it is effective and it works. Now that was probably something like a bigger stone or a bigger rock, but something this that you could carry in your pocket. You can throw this in a bag. You can walk around just holding it in your hand. It's nice and smooth. You know, something like this, easily concealed, but when you strike with your fist, then you're gonna hit so much harder. A little bit bigger rock, something like this, you could also squeeze and hold down, and then you can do those strikes where you're smashing almost like a back fist or reversing technique, hitting the guy behind you, coming down over the top. And so you can punch with it and then also hit this way. Philly Fathead, good to see you. Tonight, we're talking about the oldest improvised self-defense tool known to man, improvised self-defense weapon, the stone or the rock. These are river rocks. The other thing, and you mentioned it a minute ago, is the sling. David and Goliath, he picked up 5 smooth. Now these aren't smooth, and these are kind of neat. This type of a rock is more jagged. You can also cut with certain rocks. You know, one of the original self-defense tools that were, you know, Native Americans and Aboriginals all over the world would use stones that they would chip an edge into with another stone, and then they have a cutting surface like that. Obviously, you know, I'm not saying you're going to pick up some rocks. You see a guy who's coming after you, trying to hurt you, and you're going to make your own self-defense tool, your own ancient Neanderthal cutting tool. But if you train, and I train this actively, I train throwing with the right hand and the left hand, and I do that mostly for my shooting. When I shoot, you can improve your shooting by throwing right hand, left hand. And I use a tennis ball, put a dot on the wall, and I go back about 15 to 25 feet. And then I throw right hand over and over again. I'll do 25 here, 25 here. But what it also does is it allows me, if I need to pick up a rock and throw it and hit something with great accuracy. And that's a great self-defense tool. If you're able to pick up a stone or a rock, something small or something large, and you can chuck that into someone's face who's coming after you, you can definitely slow them down. This one obviously is gonna slow them down more. Now you could also have an old-fashioned sling, what we call a shepherd's sling, from the concept of David and Goliath. In some cultures, some shepherds still carry slings that they use, and they, you know, it's usually a strap of leather, goes around, and then a long cord, and then you put it in there, and then you swing it, and you release one side, and the rock comes flying out. And with practice, You can improve your accuracy. You can learn how, you can teach yourself how to use a shepherd's sling, and you can use any rocks. You know, you can go to the water, pick up 5 smooth stones like in the Bible with David and Goliath. That's how we know it's the oldest improvised self-defense weapon ever. But you can, Keith, I'll answer Keith had a question. We'll talk about it in just a second. I was talking to someone tonight, Keith, about the same thing about arthritis. Put that in your sling, let go of one side, it goes flying, you hit your target, you can slow somebody down. It's a great improvised self-defense tool. You can hunt with them. People still do it. It's legit. Just because people have what I carry on my hip and sometimes carry in my waistband or a knife or whatever, then Harness Storm says stick, rope, rock equals a flail. So you can put them all together and then use that, and using the rock or the stick to increase the leverage, you can hit with so much more. Harness Storm says you make good weapons with items found in the forest. And that's the whole point of this series, is talking about improvised self-defense tools. And we talk about all kinds of things, chains, locks, sticks of all sorts that you can pick up and defend yourself with. But going back to the beginning of written history and all kinds of cultures, we know before brass and before copper and before silver and gold and all the different metals and steel, we have stone. Hey Doug, it's good to see you. And you can defend yourself with a stone. So whether you make it into a fist load or you turn it into a hammer fist load where you can punch with it but also smash, either coming out here or coming out this side, stick that in his ear, stick that in his jaw, shove that up his chin, turn it around, bring it down into his throat and for self-defense, into his clavicle, into the arm. He won't let somebody go, smashing that with into the nerves. It's very effective. It's super simple. It's heavy. They're extremely durable. That's not going to break. Not at all, right? That thing is extremely dense. Or picking it up and knowing how to throw it, or turn it into a shepherd's sling and learn how to spin it and throw it. And then of course, there is the slingshot, where you could pick up something like this, make your own slingshot, the U-shaped piece of wood with a stick on the bottom, and then 2 pieces of rubber on each side. Something like this, nice and stretchy. You can make your own, or you can buy one cheaply, very inexpensively. I put a link below in the description if you want to. They're less than $10. You can pick up a really nice sling, or you can get a slingshot. Put this in there, and then using the oldest self-defense tool known to man, after your hands and your feet, your teeth, your brain, your body, as a self-defense weapon, the rock. That comes next. I think it goes what God gave you naturally. Rock is number 2, and then number 3 would be a stick, in my opinion. After that, you get swords, knives, and then all the other stuff until we got guns. And then we thank you so much for that super sticker, Doug. Thanks for that. Really appreciate that. They got lasers now. They got directed energy weapons. Who knows what comes next with artificial intelligence. Scarily, the sky's the limit, I think, when it comes to that kind of stuff. But put in the comment section below, what's your opinion of the lowly rock, the biblical self-defense tool, Cain and Abel, David and Goliath, and then all of the accounts through literature and history of people being able to pick up a rock to do some damage when it comes to self-defense, how to defend yourself with improvised self-defense tools. When you can't carry a gun and you can't can't carry a blade, and you have to go somewhere, and maybe you're at an outdoor concert and you were checked, you went through the metal detectors. You're not allowed to bring in even your pepper spray, but maybe there's a nice little area, where they have little trees and bushes, and then they have a little rock garden underneath where you can pick a couple up and stick them in your pocket. Or maybe you just bring them in with you, nice and smooth, stick it in your pocket. It's going to go through the metal detector for self-defense. They're not going to, take that away from you. It's just a nice smooth rock. You can tell them it's your fidget toy. You like to rub it. It gives you some comfort. And hey, Daryl's here from California, and gives you some comfort when you're smashing the teeth down his throat for self-defense. And that's the most important part. You're not looking for a fight, but you are looking for force multipliers, things that you can pick up that could keep you safe, protect yourself, your family, your life, your dignity, your freedom, your child, your grandchild, your spouse, your loved ones, innocent people, and you don't have any other choice. Can you pick up a rock? Can you throw a rock and defend yourself with that? Can you throw it? Can you smash with it? Can you jab with it? Can you sling it, throw it? Put that in the comment section. What do you think of the oldest improvised self-defense tool known to man, which is rocks and stones? What do you think about these kinds of rocks? These are great because these are extremely dense, like this, so they're heavy, and they have little points on them. So if you were to chuck that at somebody who's trying to hurt you, then it's going to hit them with some force, but it's also got some sharp points on it. So what do you think? What's your thoughts on the rocks? What else? What are some of the other old, natural, organic, improvised self-defense tools that we have in our environment that you could use to defend yourself? I'm going to throw these back outside in the pretty little rock garden I picked them up from. But I wanted to have that discussion tonight. Again, Doug, thank you so much for that super chat. I still have a little bit of work. Oh yeah, Harness the Storm says pocket sand. Put that in the description, please. Oh, the question about arthritis. I just had this conversation. Yeah, Doug says jagged crystal stone is good. Crystal is very dense, very hard, unbreakable almost. It's heavy. Crystal would work really well, but then you'd lose your pretty crystal, right? Some people think they have healing powers. Maybe you could heal them after you stop them from hurting you. Arthritis. So I've suffered every single day for probably the last 3 to 5 years, like progressively getting worse as I've gotten older. And I just assumed, I said, it's my penance. I've beaten my body up so much. And now I'm carrying this super heavy steel plate vest for my job. And so at the end of the day, you know that you are putting your body under a lot of stress. You're wearing yourself out. And as we get older, we just assume that all of this pain is a result from the way that I've been living my whole life. I've done all the damage, now I'm paying for it. And how many times when you were younger, especially if you were a martial artist and you're just punching into things, hitting things, and doing gnarly stuff like this to your fists, making big knuckles, that someone said, you're gonna get arthritis when you're older, you're gonna give yourself arthritis. And then you meet people when you're older, when you're my age and older, and you see their gnarled up hands, and you say, Grandma, Grandpa, did you punch a lot of things when you were a kid? And no, they didn't. It's, the question was, do you have to claim these as a weapon? Absolutely not. That's a rock. That's a pocket rock. I carry pocket rocks because it's my lucky charm. I carry this around because I like the way it feels. I get a little anxious, and if I rub it like that, it soothes my mind. So you can say that. Billiards in a sock. That's a good one. Keith, put that in the comment section too, if you would, please. So back to the arthritis, since you asked me that, and I know this isn't about arthritis, but I think it's useful. It's a conversation I've been having daily for the last couple of weeks. So I wake up every day, I have all of this inflammation in my body, right? Inflammation with arthritis. And if you take x-rays and MRIs of my joints, which I have many, then the doctor will point out, see that, you're bone on bone, you've got these spurs, your labrum's torn, and it's all true. It's the arthritis is there. It is arthritis. There's no question. I'm not saying I don't have the arthritis. I'm not saying you don't have the arthritis. And I had a pain level of maybe 7 to 10 on some days. Like some days, it just every step was agony. And I made myself do it because I have to get my job done. I'm going to do my job right. I'm going to take my steps and walk 5-6 miles a day, pain or no pain. But I was limping like a fool, limping like I was, a lame horse. My son said lame horse this morning. We were talking about what that means. But I felt like a lame horse. I couldn't really walk. I cut out all carbs in November, the week of Thanksgiving, to my wife's great chagrin, delight, whatever you want to call it. It was the wrong week, cut out carbs, right? When they have all those treats, sweet treats, and all the pies and the cakes and all that crap, which I can take or leave. So I left them. I quit eating the carbs within about a week and a half. My pain level went from 7 to 10 to maybe 3 to 5 consistently. And then I stopped, I kept that going. I really paid it. I got even better because I thought I pulled out a lot of carbs, but I still had a little bit left. And it's not just the carbs, it's the processed foods, anything that's heavily processed. So I was still drinking like the protein shakes from the powder, which is extremely processed. Pulled that out. And then my pain level went from 3 to 5 to about 1 or 2. And now, today I'm a little bit sore because I did heavy squats yesterday for the first time in years. But my pain is still a 1 or 2. And so when it comes, I'm not saying that arthritis doesn't exist. I know it's there. I know it's all through my body, all through my joints. I have done things to earn it. And at the same time, when you drop the inflammation in your body because you pull the acid out, which is the sugar, and you take away all that irritant and the inflammation goes down, then your synovial fluid that flows through your joints. Now, I'm not a doctor, so please don't think I'm a doctor. Don't take my medical advice. That's not what I'm giving you. I'm just telling you my anecdotal story. That synovial fluid gets in there, things start feeling better. The swelling goes down everywhere. My hands can close completely without any pain. I can hit things again. I can drive the elbows in again. And when I walk around, I'm not taking step after step after step in agony. I might be a little sore when I first get out of the car or get out of bed, but within a minute or two, it warms up and I feel great. So that's my answer to the arthritis. You say you're turning 61, the arthritis is shooting up. In my experience, inflammation from our lifestyle, especially if you eat the standard American diet, you're eating the diet that is full of the foods that are going to inflame every part of your body, lead to cancer, lead to heart disease, diabetes, type 2. You're going to have you handfuls of drugs that you're taking from the pharmaceutical companies. And if you can, Doug says stretch. Amen. Do a little bit of light stretching, drink lots of clean water. And hey, Sensei, it's good to see you. I got your email. I've been meaning to respond. I've just been super busy. I wish I could tell you guys why I'm so busy. It's kind of exciting to me, but I'll share that at some point in the future when I can. But we are still planning on coming to Ireland, Sensei Emmett, and we are still planning on making a visit over to Donegal and doing some training with the Irish fighting sticks and everything else. We'll get them all out, right? Sticks, knives, rocks, the oldest improvised self-defense tool known to man, Cain and Abel, right? The first book of the Bible. That wasn't really self-defense, but we know it works based on the book, the good book, the word, the truth. Fist load, back fist, smashing, turn around, jabbing, uppercuts, smashing his teeth down his throat, breaking his teeth off, straight into the face. It's very effective. And then there's a throwing. Learn how to throw right hand, left hand, improve your accuracy. Throw every day. 25 with the right, 25 with the left. Work on your accuracy. Then think about getting a shepherd's sling, like David and Goliath. He goes down to the river, picks up 5 small, smooth stones. I recommend 5 sharp, hard, jagged stones. And then learn how to swing it, release it, and hit your target. Practice with a sling. Then go old-fashioned cowboy style with the slingshot. I don't think it's cowboys where it started, but I remember when I was a kid, we went to like the cowboy reenactment place, and then my dad bought us all a bunch of rubber band guns and slingshots. And man, did we get in trouble with those slingshots, and do they hurt. You can bring home dinner if you're an 8-year-old kid and there's a lot of rabbits where you live. Yeah, Doug says, nothing like raising Cain with a rock fist. So think about that. Put that in the comment section. Since Emmett says, always assume that the stick would be the oldest improvised weapon. Because you see the paintings in the caves, spears, sticks, clubs, right? Clubs and stones. But in the Bible, in the Old Testament, in the first book, Genesis, Cain and Abel uses the stone, right? And then David and Goliath, same book, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not a biblical scholar. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a biblical scholar. And but then it comes to this kind of stuff, I go off of theory and practiced when I was a kid, hitting things with rocks. So let me know what you think. What it just to me it makes sense, right? That's the perfect size. Put that in your pocket, concealed in your fist. That's a fist load. Your knuckles aren't going anywhere. You got extra weight. You're gonna smash some teeth down their throat. That gives you a little bit more of an edge. And then if you chuck this at someone's face, you're at least gonna make them duck or move or back up. And if you got 3 or 4 or 5 of them, you can maybe create some distance and then run, right? But let me know in the comment section, what do you think the rock, oldest improvised self-defense tool known to man? And please, if you want to put, I'd rather carry a 35 or a 357 than 35. I was thinking of 380. I was thinking 45 ACP is what I was thinking, but I say that every time. I'd bring out my 45 ACP. I'd have a blackout 300 or whatever you're going to put. If you're going to put that in there, just go ahead. You can say that, but just remember, we're not talking about guns. We're talking about the oldest self-defense tool. I'm sorry, I missed that comment about Muhammad. That his brother used to throw rocks at him. So another great old book that has empirical proof, evidence that it's the oldest improvised self-defense tool known to man. And I would assume that, like some places in the desert, you might not have a lot of fallen tree branches. You might not have a lot of sticks, but you're always going to have rocks. Rocks seem to be everywhere. That's my opinion. I don't know. I know as much as you do. Since some of you guys know a lot more than me, so you've either read more or studied more or lived more or traveled more. So put that in the comment section. Maybe sticks are older than the rocks, as Sensei Emmett suggested, but I don't know. What do you think? Put that in the comment section. Let's start a debate. Let's get all excited about rocks and sticks and make that the debate instead of worrying about politics and all the other crazy things that people get stuck into. And again, Doug, thank you so much for that super chat, super sticker. I'll see you guys on the next one. The next time I find a handful of things that I can either hit somebody with or throw at somebody or distract them with. I like that idea of a handful of sand. We're in Florida, there's sand everywhere. Pick it up, throw that in his eyes. If he's wearing glasses, it will go over. I know, because people have thrown it in my eyes, it goes over your glasses. So even if he's wearing glasses, he's still gonna get it. Maybe if he's got the swimming goggles on, you won't get him. But maybe you'll get it up his nose and his teeth, something like that.